My yoga teacher used to say when I was late for class, better late than never, and I always appreciated that. So no judgment, no blame, it is what it is. You're here, you're breathing, you woke up this morning, you've been gifted a precious human birth. And I don't say this lightly, in spite of our trials and tribulations. If we can see all of these as opportunities, challenges for us to be more than we already are. And as I said in an email, we are not our pain. It will pass. But our pain can be very useful in helping us experience compassion, empathy, understanding, acceptance, and building resilience. Never have we needed more resilience than now. So if you are feeling fairly open with your blocks, you can remove them. Focus today is to create more length and space in the lower back. So to that end, let's bring ourselves down onto our mats. Bend your legs and place the soles of your feet where your knees were. And then inhale. And as you exhale, press the small of your back into the floor and draw your abs, your abdominal muscles, deep into their concavity. And let's hold here for a few seconds, very few, just a couple more. And release. Release your abdominal muscles, release your lower back. And once again, as you exhale, press the small of your back into the floor and pull your abdominal muscles in. And release on an inhale. Release your abdominal muscles, release your lower back. And one more time, exhaling, pull your abdominals in towards your lower back, pressing your lower back into the floor so much that you feel your tailbone lifting off the floor, but you also feel this incredible force in your hara. And release. Draw your right knee into your chest, extend your left leg down in front, and then I want you to bring your right knee over towards your left shoulder. So one of the reasons, there's quite a few reasons why we get lower back pain. The good news is a lot of it is muscular. Weak muscles, tight muscles. Obviously, there are issues around osteoporosis, herniated discs, strain from picking things up, but a lot of it can be muscular. So that's why yoga can really address this back issue, and then bring that knee back to center and draw the other knee up and pull them both in, and then extend your right leg down in front and draw your left knee over towards your right shoulder. So tight muscles in the lower back, the hips, the hamstrings. All of these, when they're stretched and strengthened, align with better posture. And of course, If we do 1 hour of yoga a week, but we slouch, slump, and don't honor our lower backs, well, then we're kind of starting back at square one. So I know you'll be feeling this pull through the outside of your leg, the IT. You're drawing your left knee towards your right shoulder. And bring it back over to the left side and draw the other knee up. Take your arms out to the side, shoulder height, knees together. Have your thighs at right angles to your torso and your lower half of your leg at right angle to the upper part. Inhaling in place, exhale, take both knees over to the left, head to the right. Keep your right shoulder on the mat. Palms can be facing down, probably for better stabilization here. Keeping opposite shoulder down. Inhale, keep both knees together, go slowly. Strengthening the core, the torso. This is important also to protect your lower back. Into the center, now exhale, take both knees over to the other side. We have 5 vertebrae in the lumbar region. That is the lower part of your back, not the lowest. The lowest is your sacral. Your sacral is 5 bones fused. Inhale, come back to center. Keeping your knees and feet together. Exhale, take both knees once again over to the left, head to the right. So we've got right at the bottom from the tailbone to the top of the sacrum, we have 5 fused bones. Then we have our 5 lumbar. And it's typically your lower lumbar, your L4, your L5, your S1, your sacral 1, where we experience the load, the pressure. Inhale, bring your knees back to center. And there's great mobility in this area, even when your back is stiff. And then exhale, but you won't be stiff after this class. Both knees over to the right, head to the left. So we're stretching out your latissimus dorsi, because between the bottom of your rib cage and the top of your pelvis really is full of muscles, different muscles. And these muscles need to be activated, strengthened, and stretched. And then you have a happy lower back. Inhale, back to center. Keep your right knee bent and extend your left leg down in front. And then straighten that right leg, reaching up towards your ankle. Make sure your shoulder blades remain on the floor. Shoulder blades stay on the floor. Inhaling in place, exhale, lift your head up and gently pull your right leg towards your nose, your knee. So these hamstrings are very strong and can be very tight. Now, for those of us who've torn our hamstrings, they become a little less tight, a little less stable. We have a lot more flexibility, but we need to be careful either way. But if we're going to stretch them out, breathe into the area that's tight. Could be tight in the origin or the insertion behind the back of your knee, originating from your sits bones, which is why sitting up straight can be difficult if the hamstrings are tight. And lower your head down. Release that leg all the way down. Lengthen and slowly lower the leg to activate your quadriceps, which are your thigh muscles, your hip flexors, and your lower abdominal muscles. And then inhale in place. Exhale, draw the left knee up, interlock your fingers around the front of the knee, and then straighten the leg and reach up towards the ankle. So you may be just holding on to your calf, but try to keep your hands somewhere between the knee, below the knee, and towards your ankle. So this may even be enough for some of us to just hold our legs here. Feel your hamstrings stretching. And if this is enough, stay here. But inhaling in place, lift your head up. And if you're able, draw the knee towards the nose. Breathing. Breathing into those hamstrings wherever you are in this stretch. Stretching all the muscles in the lower back, the butt, and of course the hamstrings, which you'll be feeling. And then lower your head down, lift the leg up, lengthen, and slowly lower your leg back down. Okay, at this time, take hold of a block and bring it and place it underneath your lower back. So place it under your sacrum. So the sacrum's below the lumbar. Lift both legs up in the air. Now, some of us may actually enjoy having two blocks. So you can put two blocks end to end, long end to long end, and find that spot where you can lift your legs up in the air and lift your arms up in the air too. Make sure you've got them just where you feel comfortable, because actually we're going to do some wrist stretches to avoid carpal tunnel. If any of you ever get any numbing or tingling in your hands. So I want you to bring your arms straight up and your legs are straight up. You're kind of like a dead bug with your arms straight up in the air. But basically, I want you to bend your hands at your wrist and take the other hand. So your thumb's not really working here. You're going to bend your fingers, you're at the wrist, your hand and your fingers at the wrist, and you're going to hold on to it. And you're going to feel an incredible stretch through the wrist area. Now, even if you've never had any numbing or tingling, and while your legs are up in the air, if you feel like bringing your feet together in prayer pose, you can do that, or opening them up, pointing or flexing. But basically, when we get our legs up in the air, we get better blood supply away from pooling in the ankles and the veins of the legs, and we get it back into the lower part of our bodies. All right, let's release that hand, give it a little shake out, and let's take the other hand. Again, you're bending, make sure you're bending at the wrist, right at the wrist, not the hand. The back of the hand should be nice and flat. You're bending at the wrist and you're pulling down. Now you're going to feel this. You should be feeling something. Obviously, whenever you feel pain, that's a sign that you've gone too far. Strain is one thing, pain is another. Your wrist should be directly over your shoulder, so your arm is absolutely straight and you're bending only at the wrist. Only at the wrist. Fingers don't have to be doing anything, but your opposite hand is really forcing the stretch. And now, let's go back to the original hand, and now I want your palm facing up. You're still bending at the wrist. Your other hand is on top of the palm. And you're pressing fingers towards the back of your mat, just bending at the wrist. Breathe into it. Okay, release that hand, shake it out, do the other hand. Remember, wrist directly over the shoulder. Your arm is straight, you're bending just at the wrist. Now I'm going to tell you something that when I go to bed at night, I actually do this a lot of evenings. And you can feel this, you should be able to feel the stretch on your carpal ligaments in the wrist here. So this is the opposite way that it's normally bent. Your fingers are pointing towards the top of your mat. You're bending just at the wrist and you're feeling that stretch. So I do this in bed at night. And I often put cream on my hands because I can do this. And then, all right, now, the next thing is to grab your big toes. Grab your big toes. And I'll actually put cream on my feet, but I won't have blocks under my butt. I won't have anything, just in bed. And then try to spread your legs wide apart, holding on with your peace fingers, your big toes. Holding on, stretching the inner thigh adductor muscles. Do what you can here. If taking your fingers doesn't work, or your big toes, grab your ankles, your calves. Your legs are in a nice wide V position. Giving the valves of your legs a vacation, reversing the blood flow back into the pelvic region. Okay, now keep your blocks underneath. You may only just want one block underneath. And what we're going to do is place, your knees are bent, your soles of your feet are flat on the floor. I want you to use your block here in whatever position works best for you. So it could be the lowest height, it could be the medium height of the block, and I doubt that most of you will want the highest level, but you may. And I just want you to hang out here, supported bridge pose with your block underneath your sacrum. So remember, the sacrum goes from tailbone to the lower back of your waist. These are 5 fused bones. Your lumbar is next. So play around. I'm going to have a look here and see what is happening. Breathing into your lower back. And of course, if you're practicing at home and you don't have a block, firm cushions work very well. And let's remove the block. And now take your feet as wide as the mat so that your big toes are off the mat. Your knees are still bent, feet are flat on the floor. Take your arms out to the side, shoulder height, and then carefully lower both knees over to the left, head to the right. Inhale to center, exhale, other side. Inhale to center. Exhale, both knees over to the left. Pick up your left ankle and place it on top of your right knee. So by now you may be feeling a little more spacious in your lower back. We've done mostly stretching. We'll work on strengthening. But just notice what it feels like. If it's not there yet, just become aware of energy. Become aware of sensations. And then release that left foot, placing it on the outside of the mat. Slowly, slowly come back to center. And slowly lower both knees over to the right. You're picking up your right ankle and foot, placing it on top of your left knee. And release and bring that foot to the outer edge of the mat, slowly coming back into the center. Once again, gently draw both knees up towards your chest. This time, keep your knees wide apart and roll from side to side on your lower back, kind of like ironing out any wrinkles, just checking in. You may even wish to make more massage by rolling in circles. Do this slowly so you feel what you're doing as opposed to mindlessly rolling around on the floor, becoming aware, intimate. And I love the definition of intimate being into me see. Intimacy is into me see, and we need to be able to look into ourselves. And of course, intimacy with others is precious. All righty. Roll over onto your side. Use your top arm to press yourself and slowly come up. You may feel slightly lightheaded. After the reversal of the blood supply, come on over onto all fours. One of the best is still your cat-cow for stretching out your spine and keeping it supple. Joseph Pilates, who founded Pilates, he basically said what many yogis say: we're as old as our spine. You keep your spine young, you will always stay young. So let's start by tilting the tailbone down, exhaling, tucking the chin and drawing your bellies in. And then inhale, curl your toes under, hollow out your lower back, lift your tailbone, lengthen through your neck without cranking it. And then flatten the tops of your feet. Once again, tilt your tailbone towards the floor, round your spine, tuck your chin, pull your bellies in. Inhale, curl your toes under, lift your tailbones up, hollow out your lower back. Eyes looking up towards Ajna Chakra, center of your forehead. And one last time, flatten the tops of your feet as you tip your tailbone down, round your spine a lot, tuck your chin in, pull your bellies in. And last time, curl the toes under, lift your tailbone, hollow out your lower back, and come back to neutral. Curl the toes under, walk your hands back towards your feet. And now, can you just let your upper body hang and let your head hang? Another beautiful way to stretch out your lower back. Now, for those of us who might be feeling dizzy, you can always do this in a chair. Put your butt on a chair. Just let your chest rest on your thighs. Your knees are bent. Your belly should be on your thighs. And give your head a little bit of a swing so you notice you're not holding on. Then release your hands and let's slowly roll up one vertebra at a time, keeping your chin tucked, letting your head be the last thing to come up. And then inhale, shoulders up to the ears. Exhale, push them back. Take your arms behind your back. Interlock your fingers. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. Inhale, sweep the arms up and overhead. Interlock your fingers. Release your pointer. Bring your feet so they're mostly together. Your big toes are touching. Your heels will be apart. Bring your arms right beside your ears. Stretch your arms up, reaching, stretching. Engage your thighs here. Lifting up on your kneecaps, and then press your toes back down towards the floor. Inhale, in place. Exhale. Let's bend sideways to the left. Sideways to the left. Well, there was a fruit fly here last week, and it's still here. I had some apple for breakfast. Maybe it's smelling the apple. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, sideways, other way. Inhale, up. Let your head float back. And then bring your arms. Keep your thighs engaged. Feel fully rooted and grounded through the soles of your feet by keeping your thighs engaged, feeling your toe mounts, and then reach and separate your arms up. Exhale, arms by your side, bend your legs, swan dive onto your thighs, bring your fingertips to the floor, let your head hang, and slowly roll up. One vertebra at a time. And then press your shoulders back. Bring your arms to your side. Turn your palms forward. And then release your hands, keeping the sternum lifted. This is one of the keys to having great posture. It is impossible for you to blow having good posture when your sternum is lifted. When the sternum is collapsed, it all falls apart. Keeping the sternum lifted, so keeping your upper body open, shoulders go back, and then keeping your thighs engaged. It was interesting, somebody just reported in that they were been out power walking and tripped on the boardwalk. And we all know this, you know, we're busy. So I'm thinking about creating a class for safe walking, because tripping, you'd feel dumb and you can hurt yourself. And she did. She fell on her knee, torn meniscus, blah, 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 blah. So, you know, everything's kind of a risk in life, but we want to minimize. So let's come up to the fronts of our mats for our sun salutations. Major stretching, major opening, major release for so many things. Inhaling in place, exhale, hands in prayer. Step your feet apart, arms up, reach up, look up, arc back, whatever amount feels okay. And then inhale, reaching up, lifting out of your waist, folding from your hips, reach forward, fingertips to the floor. Let's step the left leg back, drop the knee to the mat. Some of us may just stay right here, knee to the mat. Bring your hands onto your front thigh. If you want to take that back knee off the floor, do that now. Keep your shoulders right over your hips. Do not lean the torso forward. Inhale, sweep the arms up. It always helps for balance to find a spot about 8 to 10 feet in front of you. Stare at it. Turn your hands forward, spread your fingers apart, bring them down onto the floor. Now this is where, if you have any wrist or shoulder issues, you may just come down to the floor onto your knees and hang out here. Otherwise, come into your push-up or plank position. Now, by pressing all 10 fingers into the mat, we engage more of our wrist and forearm muscles. Shoulders back, pull your bellies in, feel strong, like a 4x4. And now bring your knees to the floor. Flatten the tops of your feet. Take your buttocks as back as far as you can. Keep going as far as you can. This is another beautiful stretch for your spine. Keep your hands where they are, but send your butt back towards your heel. Now this is where it gets tricky if we're tight in the upper back. That will be for another class that will work on our upper backs. Today's about the lower back. But lower your forearms and elbows onto the floor. Stay nice and low. Do what you can here. I always remember when I started in '89 how awkward it was to come forward and release my chest and chin on the floor with my butt in the air. I don't know how long it took me to get there, but I can tell you that this posture, as awkward as it may feel, will strengthen the alignment of your spine and help you reduce the chances of having a slipped or herniated disc. Okay, slide everything forward. Have your fingertips aligned with your shoulders, or basically something that feels like it's aligned. Bring your forehead onto the mat. Bring your elbows into your side body and press your elbows and forearms down towards the floor. Notice how this moves your shoulder blades down your back. Flatten the tops of your feet so your toes are pointing backwards. Press your hips and pelvis into the mat. Roll an invisible alley with your nose, and then without using your hands, come on up into baby cobra. So strengthening the muscles. So the latissimus dorsi is the largest muscle between the bottom of your rib cage and your pelvis. But your erector spinae, they go all up and down your spine. So yoga is really making the protection and the strength that your spinal cord needs and wants to have. 4 layers of muscles. Otherwise, we're just a bag of bones if we don't have the muscular strength. So if you lift your hands off the floor, look, on, no hands. Place your hands back on the floor. Come on, all the way down. Curl your toes under. You can come up onto your knees first, or lift your hips up and walk your feet a couple of inches forward into downward facing dog. Please release your head and neck between your arms. Pressing your heels towards the floor, pressing your fingertips into the floor. Another great stretch for your spine and the muscles. Lift your lift your left leg up in the air. Look forward, swing that foot as far as you can. If it's not going to go very far, you can always pick the left foot up at the ankle, move it to the front of your mat, bring your other leg forward, and let your head hang. Arms beside your ears. Engage your thighs by lifting up on your kneecaps. Pull your bellies in to protect the lower back. Inhale, sweep the arms forward, reaching up, looking up, arcing back. Inhale, stretch up. Exhale, forward fold, bend your knees. Inhale, sweep the arms out to the side, reaching up. Bring your palms together. Exhale into prayer. Let's do one more round. Inhale, exhale, inhale, arms up, reach up, look up, arc back. Inhale, bring your feet back together, lift up out of your waist. Exhale, reach forward. Think of your body like the shape of an L. You're hinging from the tops of your legs, your hips, fingertips to the floor. Let your head hang. Step your right leg back and drop your knee to the mat. Bring your hands onto your front thigh. Make sure your shoulders, torso straight up over your hips. And then if you wish, focus your gaze. Press into your back foot. That's the anchor of your posture. So press through your back heel. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Reaching up, looking up, holding that invisible beach ball. Turn your hands forward, spread your fingers wide apart, bring them down to the mat, coming into your push-up or plank position, or maybe just coming onto your knees, and then just gently working with your upper body strength. It will improve. The body has an incredible memory. We just have to remind it by moving the body. And by the way, our bodies are designed for movement. They are not designed to be sedentary. Release your knees, flatten the tops of your feet, take your bum way back, and let's enjoy a really nice stretch here. So leave your hands where they are. Of course, you're stretching through the shoulders. Shoulders, of course, up around your ears, but your buttocks are down by your heels. Try to leave your hands where they are. Release your forearms and elbows onto the floor. And then slowly come forward, staying nice and low, bum up in the air. Mobilizing, articulating all of the facets and joints of your spine. There are 12 vertebrae in the thoracic, and then on top of that, cervical, neck vertebra, there are 7. And then leaving your hands where they are, slide everything down onto your mats. Place your forehead on the mat. Fingertips level with the edges of your shoulders. Bring your elbows into your side body so they're actually touching the side body, the rib cage. Press your elbows and forearms down towards your mat. Roll an invisible alley with your nose to lengthen your neck so you're looking down at your mat. At this point, we can either proceed to baby cobra, where we do not use our hands to push us up. We use the muscles of our backs, or we can press the floor away from us and lengthen through the spine. Your choice. Please don't let your shoulders come up around your ears or allow your elbows to wing out. You want your wrists, your elbows, and your shoulders to be aligned. So bring your elbows in, and breathe. So if you haven't been doing this for a while, it may feel like, wow, I've lost a lot. Don't worry, it'll come back. It'll all come back. One more breath in, exhale, come on all the way down. Curl the toes under. Lift up onto the knees, lift up onto the hips, walk your feet a few inches forward, and then bend your knees. Press your belly onto your thighs, your chest towards your knees, and align your ears with your inner arms. And now press your heels towards the floor. You're going to feel a great stretch here through the Achilles tendon, calf, and backs of your knees. As you lengthen your upper body, stretching your lower back, inhale, lift the right leg up, look at your right hand, swing that foot as far forward as you can, or pick it up at the ankle, move it forward, other leg forward, let your head hang. Give it a little swing, know what it feels like, arms beside your ears, activate your thighs by lifting up on your kneecaps, pull your bellies in, and then inhale. Arms are forward, reaching up, looking up, arcing back. Inhale, feet come back together. Lift out of your waist. Exhale, forward fold. Let your heads hang. Bend your knees. Inhale, sweep the arms out to the side, reaching up. Bring your hands into prayer. And come on down onto your buttocks. Take a sip of water if you like. How are we doing with temperature? Everybody good? Nobody breaking a sweat yet? Okay. Well, actually, we're going to come down onto our bellies, and we're going to do a zombie walk. It's that time of year, isn't it? No, this is to really strengthen and stretch, and again, the back of the of your lower back. So basically, your arms are going to be out in front, and your legs are out behind. So point your toes into the floor. All right, and then lift your knees off the floor and point through your heels. Point backwards through your heels. Your arms are straight out in front and they're in a tented position. So your fingertips are on the floor. And you're just trying to walk. You're lengthening your entire torso by pressing your heels backwards. Your toes are tucked under, dug into the floor. Now your forehead or nose is going to be on the floor. I've got mine up just because I'm yapping away. And you're trying to walk those zombie fingers forward as much as you can. So stretching, and you notice how aerobic even stretching can be. So if those listening to me on their computers are like, wow, Joey's got the zombie breath. Okay, that will do. Woof. Draw your elbows underneath your shoulders for Sphinx Pose. So elbows directly under shoulders, not wide. Elbows directly under the shoulders, forearms and fingers straight out in front. And then lifting and arcing your neck, your head. And now with your fingers spread wide apart, middle finger pointing forward, slowly press up into a modified Cobra, if that's available for you, keeping your shoulders down, elbows in. Come on back down onto your elbows. And then gently let your head fall and give it the no way Jose shake. Gently back and forth. You might feel a little crunchiness. It's okay, just a little bit of calcium deposit. And then in the yes, please. And back to the no way. And back to okay. And then come on all the way down. Bend your right arm in front of your head. Bend your left leg. And sometimes cramping happens, so just take your time. We're going to try to take hold of our left ankle, foot, whatever you can reach, your pant leg. So left hand is grabbing left ankle, right arm is folded in front of your head with your forehead on the mat. You can curl the toes under of the opposite leg and now lift that left leg off the floor. So you're pulling your left bent knee off the floor. Major stretch for the quadriceps, of course, but this does help to strengthen also your lower back, your butt muscles, and of course, all the muscles that help to support the torso. Lifting up as much as you can. It's a back bend, so it's also aerobic. It is strengthening your heart muscles. And release that leg all the way down. Let's bend the opposite arm in front. So that'll be your left arm, or the one you didn't do before. And then once again, you're going to bend your right leg. Try to grab the ankle. Remember, if there's any cramping, just release the leg, breathe, and come back to it. Okay, so curl the toes under of the straight leg. Your forehead is on the mat. And inhale and lift that right leg off the mat. And one more breath in. And releasing all the way down. Bring your hands underneath your shoulders. Press up onto your knees. Take your knees as wide as the mat. Send your buttocks back towards your heels. And if you have knee issues, you're going to keep your bum up in the air. If your knees are okay, take your buttocks back towards your heels and release your torso and your forehead towards the mat. If you need height for your forehead, make a pillow with your forearms or stack your fists. But eventually, you may be able to lower and place your forehead, your third eye, Ajna chakra, on the floor. And just breathe into your side and your back ribs. Inhale, draw your arms forward, bring your knees in towards one another, curl your toes under, roll back, walk your hands towards your feet, let your head hang, slowly roll up, one vertebra at a time. So we'll do some standing poses. Balance is also strengthens the core, of course, because that's what balance is all about. So we're going to do Triconasana, and you may wish to have a block handy for Chandrasana, which is our balance pose, but we move into Ardha. Just place your block up at the front of your mat. Chandrasana, we move from Trikonasana into Chandrasana. At least that's how I know best to get into it. So come on up to the fronts of your mats. Step your right leg back one leg length. Now, as usual, your front leg will be 90 degrees forward. Your back foot will be slightly pressing forward. And hopefully you got sticky on your feet, huh? Megan, those socks, they got stickies on the bottom? Because otherwise you might slide a bit. I didn't even notice. Can you even see me? Okay. Right, so now you've got your heel creating a straight line through the arch of your back foot. Really important to get that alignment just right. So look down, make sure the heel of your front foot is creating a straight line right through the arch of your back foot. You're going to keep your front leg straight. You're not going to bend it. Inhale, sweep the arms up to shoulder height. So Trikonasana, triangle pose, legs stay straight. And if we want to work on the arches of our feet, and I would say it's a good idea for most of us because it activates all of the muscles, protects the knees, inner thigh, is to press into the outsides of your feet. Notice the lift to your arches. Okay, reach over that front foot as far as you can. Reach, 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 reach. Now you can't reach any further. Take that hand down. Please don't reach for the floor and lose the integrity of the posture. Imagine both of your shoulder blades up against a pane of glass or up against a wall. And you're reaching that top arm straight up, maybe even looking up. Now, lower your back arm onto your hip. Bend your front knee, look down. Walk your back leg forward. This is where you may want the height, or you may be happy just tenting your fingertips on the floor. Slowly straighten your front leg as you lift your back leg up. Keep your gaze down at the floor. Lift your top arm up. If you feel balanced, you could lift your fingers off the floor, but that's only if you really feel balanced. No heroics in yoga, just honesty, integrity, and humility, which often our difficult poses offer us. Okay, bend that front leg, step back. Please come back into Triconasana one more time. Front leg is straight, front leg is straight. Inhale, come on up. Now, before we do the other side, I want you to take that front foot and I want you to turn it outwards. Okay? What we're going to do now is stretch our psoas muscle. The psoas muscle crosses from the back of your body towards your femur. So it's very complicated, and I honestly just know that it starts on one side, crosses through the pelvis, goes to the other side, and this is a stretch for that. Okay, so your front foot is turning about, 25 degrees out, and your back leg is mostly forward, and you're going to bend that front knee and your back leg is straight. So you kind of feel like you're in Warrior Two, but it's not really. And what you're going to do now is lift your right arm up, reach it up, and you're going to stretch over to the left side, over to that left side. So this is a stretch for the psoas, which of course is also problematic when it comes to can be a cause of lower back issues. So your arm should be over your ear, reaching and stretching whatever amount you can. This is something that if you were next to a wall, it would be helpful, but it's too hard for us to get there right now without losing a bunch of time. But you could do this against a wall, reaching up and touching the wall with that top right arm. Alrighty, come on back. Center that front foot, bring your back leg forward, give your legs a shake out. And let's do the other side. So step your left leg back. See, I'm feeling frisky. Okay, front leg, straight forward, back leg, the foot is slightly turning forward, right? And your legs remain straight. Inhale, sweep the arms, straighten your front leg, Liz. Straighten your front leg, Inta. Everybody's front leg straightened. Jana, yours is? I think so. Okay, now look frontwards, look frontwards, and reach sideways. You haven't reached down yet, you're still just reaching sideways, yeah. Now, organically, let that front arm fall inside of your front leg. Reach the other arm straight up if you're able. Always practicing awareness, respect, and compassion for where your body is right now. Remember, if you press into the outsides of your feet, you lift up on your arches and you strengthen the joints, the integrity, and the inner aspects of your legs. Now lower that top arm onto your back hip and then look down at your front foot and even a little bit forward. You're going to bend your front leg, walk your back leg forward, and then place your fingertips on the floor or on your block. Lift your back leg up. Lift your top arm up. Palms should be facing the side of your mat. And then if you feel balanced, you can lift those fingertips off the floor. Only if you feel balanced. And then lower your back leg. Come on back into Triconasana. So we always follow Ardha Chandrasana both before and after with Triconasana. Inhale, come on up. And here's where, again, Please turn, because you have a psoas on both sides. I didn't even get to the sciatica today, but trust me, we've been working on that too. So turn that front foot out as far as you can. You may need to bring your back foot forward a little bit and point it more forward, and then lift that left arm up and reach over to the right side. So lift and lengthen through the side body. Turning your right foot out 45 degrees. Inhaling, sweeping up. And bring the front leg forward, bring the legs together, shake the legs out, and bring yourselves down onto your mats for Shavasana. Now, blocks. This is what I'm going to ask you to do here. I know we're a minute or two over, but have a look. I'd like you to take your blocks, put them together like this, and place them right at the edge of your buttocks, right at the edge. So it's right up against your buttocks and it's holding your thighs. Palms are facing up in the open and receiving position. Let's see, Migi. There you go. So blocks are, right, we all got it going on. So yeah, so let your thighs just roll and be supported so that your lower back can sink into the floor. Palms are facing up in the open and receiving position. Eyes are closed with your eyeballs sinking into their sockets. Let your body be soft and heavy, and just give your body a chance to absorb the benefits of your performance. And yawning is so good. Yawning and sighing both release incredible amounts of stress, whether it's mental, physical, emotional. As they say in Quebec, ça ne fait rien. It doesn't matter. And my bon mots, my good words to all of you good people who are showing respect, honor, and love for your body is this. Knowledge can be a prison of the past, while curiosity can create a passion for the present and build a path to the future. Knowledge can be a prison of the past, while curiosity can create a passion for the present and build a path to the future. As always, stay in your Shavasana as long as you like, but when you can, know that you have flushed toxins and waste out of your organs, your glands, your tissues, your muscles, your joints. And in order to expedite their exit, please flush the body by drinking lots of water. In fact, the rule of thumb is if you weigh 200 pounds, you need to drink half that weight in ounces of water. So, or if we weigh 150 pounds, we need to drink 75 ounces of water at least, okay? I know there's a chance you could drink too much water, but that's typically not going to be most of our problems. Most of us are not drinking enough water. All of your tissues, particularly the discs in between your vertebrae, They get flattened, they get crushed. Plump them up, drink water. Have a beautiful day. Namaste.